Hey there, are you ready to go on an adventure way back in time? We're heading to the year 1066. This was a super important year for England. I mean, it was packed with secret plans, surprise attacks, and one huge battle. And you know what they were all fighting over? A crown. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Imagine a king, but he doesn't have a son or a daughter to take over when he's gone. What happens then? Who gets to be the next king or queen? It's kind of a big problem, right? Well, in England, way back in 1066, this exact thing happened, and believe me, it caused a huge fight. So here's the scoop. The King of England, a guy named Edward, has just died. And the biggest problem in the whole kingdom is he didn't have any kids. No prince, no princess. That meant the throne, the most powerful chair in the whole country, was totally empty. And an empty throne is a dangerous thing. It's like leaving out a giant delicious cake and telling everyone, first one here gets it.
And a fight is exactly what happened. Three super powerful men all stepped up, pointed at that empty throne, and basically said, "That's mine." So let's meet the three guys who all wanted to be king.
First up, we have Harold Godwinson. Now, he was English and a really powerful leader called an earl. All the other important English lords liked him a lot, so they said, you should be king, and bam, they put the crown on his head right away. But, becoming king was actually the easy part. His real problems were just getting started.
Next, get ready for Harald Hardrada. He was the king of Norway and a Viking. How cool is that? He was known for being super fierce and tough. He said that because of some old promise from a long time ago, his family should get the English crown. So he got his giant Viking army all ready to sail to England and take it.
And our third guy is waiting just across the water in France. His name is William, and he's the Duke of Normandy. He was really powerful too, and he had his own story. He said, hey, wait a minute, King Edward promised the crown to me. And you can bet he wasn't going to just let that promise go.
Okay, so Harold is the new king, and he's thinking, all right, William over in France is my biggest threat. So he gets his whole army and lines them up on the south coast, just watching and waiting for William's ships to show up. But while he was looking south, the first attack came from the one place he wasn't looking, the north. A total surprise. Yep, Harold Hardrada, the Viking king, had landed in the north of England. King Harold had to think fast. He made his army march, and I mean march. They went nearly 200 miles in only 4 days. Can you even imagine walking that far that fast? He totally surprised the Vikings and won a huge victory at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Just like that, the Viking invasion was over. But Harold couldn't even catch his breath. Look at this timeline. On September 25th, he wins this amazing battle way up in the north. But then, just 4 days later, William's army finally lands way down on the south coast. Harold's poor, tired soldiers had no time to celebrate. They had to turn right around and march all the way back down the country.
Just think about this for a second. On one side, you have Harold's army. They are completely exhausted from all that marching and then fighting a huge battle. On the other side, William's army. They were fresh, well-rested, and super excited for a fight. It really wasn't a fair matchup at all, was it? And so, here we are. On October 14th, after all the claims and all the marching, the big moment had finally arrived. Two armies, two leaders who both wanted to be king, but only one crown. This was it. The great battle that would decide everything for England was about to begin. So how did William even get his giant army to England? In ships. And not just a few ships, he had about 700 of them. That is a mind-boggling number of boats. Imagine looking out at the ocean and seeing a forest of sails coming right towards you. It must have been an incredible sight. Okay, so the two armies finally meet near a place called Hastings. And Harold, being very smart, has a clever plan. He puts his army at the very top of a big hill. That way, William's army has to run uphill to fight them, which is way harder. Then, his soldiers locked all their shields together to make a giant wall of shields. It was like a human fortress, and it was super hard to break through. The battle went on for hours and hours. William's soldiers kept charging up the hill, but they just couldn't break that shield wall. Then something crazy happened. A rumor started spreading that William himself had been killed. His soldiers started to panic, but William rode right up front, took off his helmet so everyone could see his face, and shouted, "Look at me, I'm alive, and with the aid of God I shall gain the victory." And just like that, his army was fired up and ready to fight again. Since just charging wasn't working, William came up with a super sneaky trick. He told some of his soldiers to charge up the hill and then pretend to run away like they were scared. It worked perfectly. Some of Harold's soldiers thought, "Yay, we're winning!" and they broke out of their strong shield wall to chase them. But it was a trap. As soon as they were down the hill, the Normans turned around and attacked them. So clever, right?
And this little trick is what finally broke the mighty shield wall. In all the messy, chaotic fighting that happened next, something really sad happened. King Harold, the hero who had just beaten the Vikings, was killed. The most famous story says he was hit in the eye by a random arrow. After winning that incredible battle just a few weeks before, his luck had finally run out. Once their king was gone, the English army just couldn't fight anymore. The Hurts weren't in it. The battle was over. And the cost was just huge. It's thought that about 10,000 soldiers died on that one single day, an absolutely staggering number of people. So, William had won the battle, and with it, he won the crown. But this wasn't just the end of a fight. Nope. This was the beginning of a whole new chapter for England. Everything was about to change forever. And sure enough, a few months later, on Christmas Day, William marched into London and was crowned the new King of England. From that day on, everyone knew him by a new name, William the Conqueror. And boy, did things change. All the old English leaders lost their land, and William gave it to his loyal friends from Normandy. Even the way people talked started to change. Thousands of French words got mixed into the English language, words we still use today, like castle, army, and royal. And to make sure everyone knew he was in charge, William built massive stone castles all over England, symbols of his power that you can still go visit today. And what about Harold, the king who lost? Well, the story goes that William had him buried on the cliffs overlooking the sea. And on the stone, it simply read, "Here lies Harold, King of the English." Even though they were enemies, it seems like it was a little sign of respect for a brave king. William's victory changed the path of English history forever. It really did. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if that sneaky trick hadn't worked? What if Harold's army had held on and won that day? Just think about how different everything might be. Even the words we're using right now could be totally different. It's pretty amazing to think about, isn't it?